That you just heard is our new theme music.
Woo!
Woo!
Oh my god.
Major shout out, major props to my music guy, my friend Anika. She is brilliant and lovely and talented and was so kind as to compose that for us.
Out of her brain.
Out of her brain. I literally sat down with her and I said, I want to feel like I'm frolicking in the woods. And I also want bird noises.
Didn't you? Oh,
and
so good.
Didn't you? Like, she really came through with that. It's so awesome. I love her so much. She's so wonderful and hot and lovely and talented. Mm-hmm. So shout out Anika for that one.
Yeah, we really just had to scream that for our intro because, well deserved. Anyone listening to this episode first and then going back, I'm sorry. But it is what it is.
Like, you're going to listen to that beauty, that absolute masterpiece, and then you're going to go backwards to the last episode of me just like my ratchet ass singing.
Yeah. So, my name is Jess.
My name is Hannah.
And this is episode 17. And we are starting off December with a little bit of love for the Bookish community.
Yeah, we're spreading the love. We're spreading the community. Tis the season.
Tis the season.
Welcome to the first episode of the holiday season.
Yay.
Holiday month. Woo.
Mm-hmm. But first off, how are you?
I have had 3.5 hours of sleep, and I got up and 20 minutes later was sitting at my desk in my corporate job.
Oh.
So it's been a long day.
But did you party last night?
Little. Yeah. Yep, went to a concert. It was a lot of fun. It was like a live studio recording show, so like you're in the studio while they're recording.
Oh,
it
that's
was really
sick.
Cool. Yeah, they were filming the whole thing, and like you could see the booth and everything they were doing. It was really, really cool because I've been to a lot of local
you really
shows.
played that down.
Yeah, I did when I talked to her. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to a concert. It was like actually really cool, and I went just on my own, just after work, spontaneously because I felt like it. Because I have a friend, my best friend, one of my best friends, Mo, is super into local music. He actually interviews local bands. So if anyone's like in BC and is interested, he has a website called the Soup Can Collective. His last name's Campbell, so he named his interview website. The Soup Can Collective. He's interviewed like a whole ton of bands. He does like album reviews and stuff like that. So like if anyone wants to check it out, the Soup Can Collective online and on Instagram. And anyways, so he's like super involved in the local music scene. And for me, I just like live music. I don't really care what the show is. And so I just like to go just for fun. So he used to take me to a lot of shows that he was going to for local bands and stuff because he just like wanted someone to go with and knew that I didn't care who the artist was. I would just go and dance and have a good time. And I also hold his stuff while he's in the mosh pit because
everyone needs that friend.
Yeah. If Mo is not close enough to the stage for the artist to be sweating on him, he's not close enough, and so he's always in the mosh. And so I it's my job to hold the glasses. So I've been to a lot of these local shows, and so I heard of this one going on and I was like, I'll check it out. It was a lot of fun. Had a good time.
Hey.
Yeah, so that's something positive, even though I'm feeling a little tired and a little low and just kind of like sad, just like but I think that's okay, because if I were to deny any kind of negative emotion, I would be missing out on half the human experience, and that would be sad. So every emotional state has its place. And so today we're just feeling a little low, but that's okay. We're embracing it. We're feeling it. I'm wearing comfy clothes. We're good.
We're having a good time anyway.
How are you?
I'm doing really good. I spent today puppy sitting.
Oh my god, yeah. You sent me pictures.
3-month-old Cavalier. She was precious. she fell asleep on me more than once, and she knows how to stamp her little feet on a towel. It was adorable.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You were sending me pictures and I was showing my coworkers. We were all just like dying over this dog. I would take a bullet for her.
Oh, yeah. I faced allergies for her. Same thing.
Same. Definitely.
Yeah. And also, I'm reading a new book. Ooh. And it's one that comes very highly recommended. It's Broken Bonds by Jay Bree.
Yay! I'm so excited. Wait, oh my God, you just made my whole day.
I'm
oh
60% in.
Are you serious? How is it?
It's so good.
Really?
It's so good.
Yay!
I'm gonna read all of them.
Are you serious? I didn't think you would like it that much. Like to start
so
off.
Into it.
Really?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's like you said it was Wattpad, but like I see it here and there, but overall, not terribly.
No,
like,
it's so good.
It's just dramatic enough that it's super fun.
Yeah, it's just a fun read and it's easy to get through and the writing is like...
And it's all about just, gruesomeness.
Yeah.
Her life sucks.
Her life sucks. That's why I thought you would love it. Because I realized it clicked for me that you just need violence to be involved to get on board with romance.
Yeah.
Not in like a abuse way, but in like a she's a
general
way. Yeah.
Yeah. As people, there needs to be a little something involved. But yeah, I'm loving it. I'm having a really good time.
Who's your favorite?
Ooh, so far, Atlas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Atlas wins your heart fast.
Fast, dude. As soon as he was like, yeah, they don't get to tell me how I feel. I was just like, oh.
Okay, for context, Broken Bonds by Jay Bree. It's a paranormal romance series. It's also a reverse harem, so it's set in this world where fated mates are a thing, essentially. They test your blood, and then you're matched with, like, other people who are meant to be with you as part of your, like, bonded group. That's how their families
there's, like, a thing
work.
in your chest that you can feel when they're, like, close to you. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, so, like, you've got these, that's how families are formed, is people have these, like, fated mates of people that they're supposed to be with, and there's one central, and then there's all the other people in the family.
Who are all bonded to that person.
Yes, who all, like, have that person. But there's a lot of political intrigue, and basically, like, she gets her test results back and runs away. Like, she disappears off the face of the earth, runs away from them. And the book starts when they find her and drag her back. And she has to answer for, like, all of this stuff that's been going on. And then you get into, like, the political intrigue, the secrets, the lies, the romance, sort of. Yeah. It's so good. I've read the series 3 times in the last year.
I just started book 1.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about for anyone who didn't know.
Yeah. The Bonds That Tie series.
Yes.
Broken Bonds is just book 1. And yeah, they're all of something to do with Bond in the title, not 007. So, yeah, I thought you might enjoy that.
I'm so excited. I had no idea. I thought you were waiting till, like, Christmas break, so I was just waiting.
No, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to, hop on in there.
It's an easy read.
Yeah.
You can fly through it.
I did not think the first one was as short as it is. It's only 283 pages. And I was expecting it to at least be as big as Bride, so around 400. So yeah, I opened it and I was like, oh, I'm going to finish this fast.
Yeah, and then all the books after that are 600 plus pages.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's when you get into it. That's when you get into
Because, yeah, I noticed that, like, even just looking at the covers as I'm reading book 1, like, book 1 has the skull on the cover, and I believe, because it's 6 books total, and she has 5 bonds, so each of the other books, I'm guessing, are going to be centered around one of them.
Not really. It's just for the cover art.
Oh, okay. So it's one from each.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think the second book on the cover is Griffin, and that book does kind of center around him. But after that, it's like not really in order. They're
Because
just
Griffin has such the intrigue being built up in book 1.
yeah,
Where they're just like, he's mysterious and he doesn't like look at her ever. And then all of a sudden he shows up at her dorm. Hello. After he randomly offers to drive her home for dinner. After never talking to her before. Okay.
Griffin. After reading the whole series, Griffin's my favorite.
I know you've mentioned his name before, so he's on my radar.
I love Griffin.
Because as of right now, he hasn't actually done anything against her as well, which I have noted. Like, he just ignores her. And it's like, that's a pretty peaceful approach to the situation compared to some of her other bonds, like Knox and North.
Knox is very close second to Griffin for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You'll see.
Okay. So yeah, I did note that. So we'll see where it goes.
I'm so excited. That was your news for me?
That was my news.
I'm so amped. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yay. I'm excited. That's my comfort read usually, and like my go-to, just because it's so easy to fly through.
I
and
get
it's so
why.
Good.
I get why.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is one of those books where I'm like reading something and then I can just imagine what you have to say about it. Or like Oleander, I feel like also has a very similar attitude to you.
Yeah.
Like, there have been lines where I read it and I'm just like, that's a Hannah quote. She has for sure said that in her life. It's just quotation marks, Hannah probably. Like,
yeah, a little
more
bit.
than once.
A little bit. She's a little more abrasive than I am.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hannah at 17, 18 though. For sure.
I mean, Oleander's 19, so.
Yeah, real.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy. You just made my whole day. Remember when I said that I was kind of sad and tired today? No, gone.
Not
Poof.
anymore.
I'm totally fine now.
I did it, guys. I fixed it.
Oh, you're magic. Okay. That was fantastic news. Thank you so much. Please, like, how'd you read 60% and not text me?
Because I was saving it.
Oh, I see. But now that you've mentioned it, you gotta start texting me.
Now that the beans have been spilled, I will send you updates.
Good.
But
good.
No, I very specifically planned this.
Yeah.
Also, I only started it day before yesterday.
Yeah, and you're already 60% in. That checks out. The first time I read the series, I finished the whole series in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I might. We'll see.
Yeah, the whole series is like
I do have finals coming up. We'll see.
3,300 pages or something like that altogether.
Yeah. I read like 100 pages yesterday and like 100 pages today.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was excellent. Thank you. Yeah, I don't really have any reading updates. I'm still reading The Hobbit, and I finished A Touch of Darkness today.
Oh, how was it?
It was very good.
Do we love Hades?
We do love Hades. He is getting up there.
Where is he on the book boyfriend list?
He's number 2.
That's pretty high.
He's 2.
High. I respect that.
Yeah. He still doesn't beat Constantine from Kingpin's Foxglove. Nobody ever will. Okay, that man has me by the throat. But
it's close.
But Hades is up there.
Getting into the meat of the evening.
Why would you say it like that?
Why?
No. Why?
Because I really didn't think about it first.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
And in hindsight, I'm sticking with it purely for the reaction. But anyway.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I really walked into that one.
Yeah.
Really walked into the meat.
Yeah. I'm just imagining you're in like a warehouse with like meat hooks, and it's like a crime scene in like DC universe. You ever see Batman?
Yes, I did see Batman.
You said walk into the meat, and I just had to picture it.
You went, and your brain went Batman.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's the
perfect.
power of the tism.
The power of the tism. Okay. Well, on that note, on that nice segue.
Thank you. Yeah, so the meat for the holiday season is...
I see what you did there.
I'm glad that it came together. It was not planned. Anyway, we are going over some of our favorite bookish creators, bookstagramers, podcasts. I've got a few bookshops. So overall, just our favorite, bookish peeps.
Yeah, because we thought, what better way to kick off the holiday season than to focus on the book community and really just shed some light on some of our favorite creators and people who are doing stuff that we enjoy, stuff that we think is important, and also just to give some recommendations on who to go to for different book recommendations and content and things, because I really trust some of these people, okay, for book recommendations fully. So it's going to be a bit of a longer episode. We've got quite the list, but that's okay because we just couldn't narrow it down anymore. I feel like all of these people deserve to be talked about in a positive and lovely way. So that's what we're here to do.
Do you want to start us off?
Yeah. Okay. So my list is in no particular order. It was just the order I happened to write them down in. All of mine are bookstagrammers, with the exception of one podcast. So these are all people who specifically make book content and book reviews and recommendations and stuff like that. So the first one I put on my list is Jolie at Jolie Reads with an underscore afterwards. She always sticks out to me because when I'm scrolling and she pops up, she just is an absolute ray of sunshine. I love to see her. She talks about books, but she's also always so real, generally very positive, and I don't know, she just brings light into the space. I also trust her recommendations, and she reads a wide variety of different genres and vibes, from thriller to fantasy to romance, which I appreciate because I also read like that. So she's like 5 bookish creators in one. It's the best. Nobody collects genres like I do except Jolie, and so I love her for that.
Oh, that is so cute.
I know, she's adorable. She's the best.
I have got next Sadie at sadies.reads. She just had to be my first one purely because she's the reason that I got back into reading as an adult. Straight up. Yeah. She shared a video on TikTok about her simple annotating method of highlighting the sides of the page, and I remember seeing it and I just went, oh, maybe that'll do it. Maybe that'll light the spark in my brain again. And it did. And
nice.
And now we're here.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, all of a sudden I was just able to read books again, and I have not stopped. So it's all thanks to Sadie.
Yeah, wow. The show would not be happening without Sadie.
Yeah. That was a really big shout out, but
yeah, that's a bigger shout out than we thought. Damn. Wow.
Start with a bang.
Wow. So everyone listening, you have Sadie to thank.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. My next one is Jamie at That Girl Reads, spelled THTGRL Reads. I very specifically love and appreciate Jamie for the videos she makes where she's like, if you liked this popular book or this certain character from this book, try all these other books that I think you'll like too. Because as a mood reader, sometimes I finish a book that I was in the mood for and I'm looking for more, but that book is over, which is a tragedy. And then I don't know what to do with myself. That's where Jamie comes to the rescue, especially when it's romance. And she's like, oh, you like that book boyfriend? Try all these other book boyfriends. You'll thank me later. And I just gotta say, Jamie, this is me thanking you later. Okay? Because that is excellent. She's never steered me wrong. Oh. Love her the most. And she's always like so like to the point, like, here, just trust me. Just take all these books. Source, trust me, bro. Yeah, she's fantastic.
Wow. I have not yet started taking romance recommendations except for yours. And you know, I might give one of hers a go. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh yeah, because she talks about the bonds that tie at some point.
Does she really? Oh
I
my God.
think so. There's
Okay.
some video at some point where she's like, if you like this character,
In
then
that
try.
case, she's got me. I'm done.
Yeah, you'll just have to do a That Girl Reads deep dive.
Yeah, I will.
She's got something for you, I'm sure.
I'll dig. Next, I have the Overdue podcast at Overdue Pod on Instagram, which is Andrew and Craig. They are a podcast about the books you've been meaning to read, and they go back and forth each week, taking turns reading a book, and then they talk about it. And the disclaimer here is that I am listening in chronological order. So I'm in the 20s-ish episode-wise, and they're at over 700 now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's actually like a lot.
That's a lot of years. Holy shit.
It's multiple at this point, or at least thereabouts. And yeah, I actually went through and I started to listen to episode 666, which is
Of course you did.
Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Basterica.
Oh my God. Not this shit again.
Which they delayed releasing purely because they wanted that book to be for that episode. And I respect the hell out of it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so they are just a couple of chill guys. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. They were my first Bookish podcast that I really got into, and love that. Love them for that.
Nice. Yeah, you're just hitting up all the firsts here.
Yeah, I really am.
Cool. Next shout out goes to Laura at Elite Reading. I'm drawn to her content because she's very funny, and so I find her videos really engaging. Like, every time I'm scrolling by and I see a video from her, I stop immediately for it. Whether it's a video with her real life book husband that she has, or something she's doing just for fun, like that video I sent to you where she's holding books like men hold fish.
Oh, I love that video.
I love that video. And so I just love her content, and she reads mainly romance, so that's where I go for those recommendations a lot, because she has never steered me wrong. I trust her on that. She knows what's up. Also, her and her husband are just goals, and she's just got such a beautiful family, and all of her pets, cats and dogs, and she's got like 5 or 6 cats and dogs.
Oh my
and so it's just adorable. It's just such a cozy, fun time over there. Some of her videos are honestly just a warm hug on a bad day, and people need that in their lives in this economy.
Cute. I love that.
She's great.
My next one is Emma at reads.by.emma. She was one of the first bookstagrams that I followed once I really started getting into my own bookstagram and consistently posting on there. And simply because I feel like her taste is so similar to mine in the freaky deaky sense.
Perfect.
Yeah. I believe the first books that caught my eye on her feed were, Tender, Bunny, Handmaid's Tale. So all of the, go-to spooky stuffs that I like to get knee deep into. And since then, I've read a couple of books that I read just because I saw them on her feed, and 5 stars every time.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
love that. Anything that she just goes, hey, you're gonna love this, I just go, okay. Add to cart.
Just trust her.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, yeah.
What a gem.
Mm-hmm. It's not often you find another bookstagrammer with just your niche. So she is that for me.
Yeah. Because when you find a creator with the same taste as you, magic happens, honestly.
Yeah.
Next, I have Suona or Sue at Suona Books. I just love her energy. She brings so much just unapologetic, completely herself, completely genuine energy to her videos, and she's so funny. She's also another one that reads a wide range of different books, and she's always so real with her opinions, with so much positivity and enthusiasm. Like, she's very much like the epitome of you can be honest while still being kind. And I appreciate that a lot because she's just got great energy. Her account actually blew up this year, and I've been following her since she first started getting into bookstagrams. So to see that happen
that's
for
so
her,
fun.
yeah. So to see that happen for her just brought me so much joy, because genuine people like that, just doing their thing, being themselves, they really deserve it. Especially, like, I love her series of reading updates, especially her series on The Serpent and the Wings of Night. She's also very, very engaged with her followers, with people commenting on her posts and people reaching out and all that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, she's very actively engaged with it, and I really appreciate the community building happening there. So overall, she's just got such positive vibes, and she makes you feel like you're just hanging out with a friend, and I love that.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're all about.
That is what we're all about here.
My next shout out goes to Jocelyn at Cool Gal Reading. First of all, fantastic handle. I have been in love with it ever since I first laid eyes upon.
Nice.
Yeah. I put her on my list because hers is one of the Instagram stories that I find that I'm just always watching.
Period.
Yeah. I was just always there, and I just always click on it, and I go, "Oh, what's she doing? Cool gal." And literally
Cool
those
gal.
exact words. It's like, cool gal. And like in the most adoring way, let me clarify. And yeah, I think she posts more on her stories than she posts, but she's very real on them, and she like very authentic, and posting about the parts of life that don't usually make it onto Instagram, where she's like, yeah, I've been sick, I haven't read in 2 weeks, so what, I still have a bookstagram and I'm still a reader.
Nice.
And
love that.
preach. Yep.
Preach.
Love it. Yeah, girl, get better. Love you. And yeah, and she'll just post about, that real human experience of like, these are the expectations that, Bookstagram for some reason has, but fuck them. I don't even like posting.
I'm just going to do my thing.
Yeah, it's so great. And yeah, I just love her energy. It's so good.
Oh, that's so nice. Especially because, like, that also then is an invitation for other people on Bookstagram to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. It makes everyone so comfy.
Yeah, like, it's okay, girl.
Yeah.
If you haven't read in 2 weeks, it's fine. You're still a reader.
Yeah. That's why, like, honestly, even in terms of our podcast, like, you know what? Life stuff happens. That's fine. Like, this isn't the end of the world. This is a passion project. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good. The world is not going to end.
Literally, what schedule the last few weeks? Like,
exactly.
Because of my
we are
work and
students
school and everything.
and we are adults.
Yeah.
They will wait because they run on our schedule here.
We're just like one of those like enigmatic like pop-up shops. Like, ooh,
yeah,
we're gonna get an episode this week.
Yeah, we're in hot demand. They'll come to us.
Oh my god, that's the biggest lie.
It's actually just me poking people until they just go, okay.
Yeah. We're having a good time, so.
Yeah, that's what matters.
Love that. Next, I've got Sarah at Sarah the Book Fairy. Adorable
Cute.
name. Love it. I discovered her because the algorithm started calling me out and sent me one of her many videos where she's like, oh, is that a people-pleasing eldest daughter who reads a lot of fairy smut and listens to Taylor Swift? And I'm just like watching these videos. I'm like, yo, why are you calling me out like that? But also, why do I kind of fuck with it? Then what absolutely made me fall in love with her as a creator was when she started an app called Slumber Party for women to join, basically a community for the girlies and the gays and theys to all support each other on a kind of social media platform. So there's chats on there and just a lot of people posting being like, hey, here's a small thing that I'm celebrating today, or people asking for the girlies' opinions on things or sharing book recommendations, and everyone is super positive and kind on there. It's literally like a big slumber party. And I really, really admire that project, and I admire her for creating that space. And on top of that, she's just so welcoming and accepting of people in the book community. She's a fantasy reader, she's quite funny, and she's obviously using her platform to continue to make positive change and open safe spaces online for people to connect. So she just created such a soft place to land online, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant, and I admire her for it.
Love that. So my next one is Patricia, or most people call her Patches, and she runs the Morbidly Curious Book Club, which on Instagram is at Morbidly Curious Book Club. I listen to their podcast on Spotify. And they are a real book club. However, they are not in my city, so I just listen to the episodes. But they are a nonfiction book club that really go into, the creepy and the macabre. So their episode 1 was actually on books bound in human skin. It's called Anthropodermic Bookbinding, which is so cool. I find it fascinating. And,
yeah, I love that for you.
Yeah, even just the word anthropodermic. Oh, it's shivers. It's so cool. And like the other day, I went up to my teacher at school, and I looked at her and I said, "This is going to sound really weird, but I had a dream where I was giving you a sticky note with this podcast name written on it, and because I thought that you might like it, and so here I am, and this is for you." And I gave her the sticky note that said Morbidly Curious Book Club Podcast. Just because I thought she might like it.
Oh my god.
And
that's the cutest
I had a
thing.
dream about it. And I told her that.
Oh my
This
god.
is a woman I've known for 3 months.
What did she say? How did she
She was thrilled. I was right. No, she read the name and she was like, "Oh my god, when I went to New York, we hunted down for this antique oddities shop. And It was just this. It was morbidly curious. It had bones everywhere." And I was like, "Oh my god, I love bones."
You collect bones.
I do. I have a tooth jar.
Oh my god.
So it went great. She loved it. And yeah. So Morbidly Curious Book Club. Tell your friends or your teachers. It's great. It's a good time.
God.
You'll learn a lot.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
And also, that also normalizes the common human morbid curiosity as well, which is cool.
It does. It does. It's like, when you talk about forbidden snacks and everyone realizes that they all like nerds because it reminds them of aquarium gravel. It's like that. But for scratching that itch in your brain. The episode I listened to today, the podcast, it interviews the authors of the books they read, I should also say.
Oh, that's so cool.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, because it's nonfiction,
She
right?
talks to, yeah, it is. And she talks to so many of them. Like, this girl has contacts.
Love that.
Yeah, it's so fascinating to listen to them. The one that I listened to today, there was actually 2 authors that co-wrote a book together. Let me get the book because they deserve to be mentioned. A Light in the Dark with authors Kathy Kleiner Rubin and Emily Lebo Lucchesi. So Kathy Kleiner Rubin was actually one of the survivors of Ted Bundy. Yeah. She interviewed her in this episode. It was fascinating.
Wow.
About her book. So, highly recommend the Morbidly Curious Book Club.
Yeah,
podcast.
I'm going to start listening to it now.
Yeah.
That's
I love
so
it.
cool. And I'm such a podcast girly.
Mm-hmm. If you can tell.
Yeah. Yeah, we're here because Sadie got you back into reading, and I'm a podcast girly.
And yeah, you took advantage.
Yeah, I did. I won't even lie.
Yeah. It's not because of me at all. It's just because of Sadie and Hannah.
Yeah. And then I just dragged you into it.
Yeah, I'm just along.
Yeah.
Love it though.
Oh, that's great. Awesome. Okay. My next shout out goes to Jade at Jade Kylie Lou. Jade is my 100% go-to for dark romance recommendations. She is another one that is just so real. She's so funny, especially with her skits that she makes about dark romance. For example, her videos on, like, if I were the girl that the guy was stalking in a dark romance, and then, like, cut to her in her hoodie, like, reading for 9 hours straight. And snacking the whole time, or her skits about the different like romance subgenres talking to each other, like if fantasy and dark romance and like small town romance were all to like meet as people.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's really funny. She makes a lot of super relatable content about that, and it's just a joy to see. She's also another one that has never steered me wrong. Her content is where I actually started hearing about dark romance as a genre in general, specifically because of her sweet and spicy videos where she convinces you to read a dark romance book by telling you something sweet and something spicy about the book. Oh, I know. And it's not usually super spoilery either, so she just hooks you a little bit and then...
Just enough.
Yeah, exactly. She just hooks you a little bit, which always grabs my attention.
See, that's how you get me into things, is you'll send me quotes until I just go, okay, get me.
Yeah, so usually the books she's talking about are on Kindle Unlimited too, so that's a major plus, because that's super accessible for me. And I also just find myself relating to her a lot. She's a girl's girl, and she knows what's up in the realm of dark romance.
Period.
So, yeah.
My next one is another Sadie. Her at is mother.horror. And I feel like I have to overpronounce that word every time I say it, or else I'm just going from talking about the spooky scaries to talking about sluts.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I digress. So Sadie, she has recs upon recs upon recs upon recs of horror books. And I actually bought my first recommendation from her yesterday because it popped up on Kindle for $1.
Oh,
so
nice.
It was one of those where I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. It's $1.
It's $1.
It's $1. I'm gonna just do it.
Yeah.
No one can get mad at you for buying a $1 book. And
nobody can get mad at you for buying a book. That's your business.
Period.
Bars.
Bars.
New tagline for the Bars show.
Yeah, there we go. No one can get mad at you for buying a $1 book. Yeah, but all of the books I've been seeing her recommending have looked really intriguing. And I know that she's read House of Leaves. And
nice.
So already she knows that if you get it, you get it type girly. And I know that she gets it. So, yeah. And so I'm really excited to read some more recommendations from her.
Is that one of the ones that I sent to you?
Yeah, it is.
My algorithm for a while started sending me horror recommendations because of you, and so I just started forwarding them.
Yeah, and I just followed from the reels. But I feel like I told you I wanted, I was like, yeah, Booksta has so much for the romance girlies, but I want this content, but for spooky scaries. And you went, okay, hold up. And over the course of the next 3 weeks, Hannah was just sending me reels periodically, and she was like, here's another one. And I was just like, sweet, thanks, follow.
Well, okay, it's because I have gotten very, very good at training my algorithm.
Yeah, your algorithm applies to you and me.
Yeah, I can get it to do whatever I want. And it does
Got
it
a lot of
quickly.
power.
Yeah. Yeah. So listen, if I can spread the joy, I will. Next up is Naya at Novel Naya.
Cute.
Such a good name, yeah. Naya has a very special place in my heart. She is so funny, so just candid. She calls it exactly like it is. If she doesn't like a book, she'll tell you, and she'll tell you why. And she normalizes being a hater, but
hell yeah.
in the best way. like not in a negative or like a tearing anything down on purpose way, but just, this is my honest to God opinion. So I feel like her recommendations are trustworthy. Like, I trust her so much because I know that if the book sucks, Naya will tell me. And she also just has made a lot of really funny commentary on the book community and publishing and popular books and things like that. And I just find that really comforting to see just someone calling it like it is. Like, maybe that's just my little neurodivergent heart who appreciates someone just being straight up.
That sense of justice.
Yeah. Yeah, because I get a little lost and scared socially as a neurodivergent homie. Okay, I don't know what it is, but Naya just like eases that for me. Like, I feel like she's just going to be real with me. So I just love and appreciate her content so much for that. She's also just lovely, and I like her videos a lot. She's the one that put me onto That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon or something like that. And ever since then, I've just trusted her.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. My next one is Simone at Simone and Her Books, which is just a cute little name, I think.
That's adorable, yeah.
Yeah. Simone has a beautiful reading room. Period. Oh my God, is it ever gorgeous.
Okay, I love
yeah.
that. I love that.
Yeah, her Instagram is beautiful. I appreciate the aesthetics of reading. Like, sometimes I like to just set up my table and send Hannah a picture of just like my flat lay of my book with my annotation supplies and my book sleeve and whatever little drink I've got with me that day, and just like flat lay of the day. And oh my God, I just love it. It scratches an itch in my brain, and her reading room just does that.
Nice.
And yeah, like I love a cozy space. I draw cozy spaces just for funsies. And yeah, she also likes the spooks. So that's really good. That's also appealing.
Also a plus.
Yeah. One of my current reads is The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. And she's one of the bookstagramers that I saw that one on. It was popping up in a few of like my regular scroll bys, the ones that just are on my feed often. And she was one of them where I just saw it more than once. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And so now here we are.
Nice.
Yeah, so subtle about the horror vibes though. So it's like she looks all cozy, and then it's like, oh, here we are. Oh, the eyes.
So she's like you. You seem so sweet and cute and lovely, and then you're reading absolute insane and horrific shit.
Yeah. She also dog ears.
Oh my God. Okay. You know what? I'm not going to hold that against her, just like I don't hold that against you. However, that is a mortal crime.
Yeah, well, she also has a really big comfy chair, so I
I guess I
no
can
qualms.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she just always looks so cozy.
Great. I mean, so do you, to be fair.
I am in a blanket as we speak.
Yep. I can see that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. My next one is another one that is very near and dear to my heart. It is Tyrone at Bookish Dad Reads. He is just such a sweetheart, and he's another one that's so real but in a different sort of way. He is very open and honest about his mental health journey and the struggle with that and how reading saved him. I think that's just such a beautiful thing to see, and I feel like that's so important to normalize that kind of thing. At least I've always taken comfort in his content and in his videos because stories saved me too. So I was always drawn to his page for that. That's so important and so admirable. And also, he's just funny, and he reads fantasy romance, which is just so lovely for him.
That's
If you've
awesome.
ever seen him. Yeah. So he's great for that. And he's fantastic. He's so positive and so authentic, and I appreciate that a lot because that speaks to me. Because when you see him doing that, it's like, oh, okay, if this person can get through that and can take comfort in reading and pick himself back up through all this stuff, okay, I can do it too. And that's just so motivating and so wonderful to see. So, love Tyrone. Love all of you, honestly. The book community, for the most part, at least the side of it that I'm on, is so positive and lovely. And people like Tyrone are what make it what it is.
Mm-hmm. Warm hugs.
Warm hugs.
Yeah. My next shout out goes to Sydney at Sydney Books, spelled with 3 Y's, 4 total. So Sydney Books.
Okay.
She's another horror girly. So she reads a lot of mystery, horror, thrillers. I also recently bought a book that was recommended by her, which is Slewfoot by Brom, which is sort of a horror book that, similar to House of Leaves, kind of takes on a little bit of a different format. It's not as crazy with like fonts and whatnot, but the page numbers are like vertically centered on the page, and the book is square. And there's also like portraits of monsters at like the beginnings of chapters. So I'm really excited to read it. Maybe
That's
over,
cool.
I keep saying maybe over Christmas for like every single book, but lately anyway.
We know what your plans are.
Yeah. As of right now, it's war and smut.
Yep. Real. The one.
It's going great.
J-Bree.
Yeah. It's going great. But anyway, I'm very excited to read that one. And Sydney is one of the bookstagrammers where she also posts a lot of just really entertaining reels for the horror book community, which is harder to find than one might think. Okay.
I mean, yeah, because like...
Yeah, I had to train someone else's algorithm to get it. So...
Well, like, also, how are you supposed to make light of horror?
Yeah. But she does a really good job of it. And
nice.
Yeah, I love it. And yeah, I've been following her for a couple months now, and it's a good time. And yeah, really enjoying the rec reels, as I like to call them. She's got a lot. It's awesome.
That's great. Love that. Next, I'm so excited. Next, I have another one that is very, very near and dear to my heart. Okay,
yes.
This is my one podcast. There is no way that I could have made a Bookish Creators episode without mentioning Shay and Jill at Smuts After Dark. They are absolutely wonderful. They are so funny. They are so real. Kind of like us, they just sit and just talk, just a couple of friends chatting about books. Specifically, dark romance and all things smut, love, and romance. And I really appreciate how candid they are, specifically because, like, I don't know if they necessarily realize they're doing it, but I think their show is so important because they normalize a lot of things that women are often shamed for in the book community or even in the community at large, like reading exclusively romance, liking smut books, liking dark romance, being overtly sex and body positive as a woman. All of these things that we are so often shamed for. Shay and Jill are just out here laying it all out there and completely normalizing it, creating this like safe and wonderful and welcoming space for you to just go and get some recommendations and hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've started reading one of their recommendations. It's going great.
Yeah. Honestly, they're killing it. And they really foster this encouragement to feel like it's okay to like what you like and go read what you want to read, and everyone else be damned. Who cares what anyone thinks? Yeah. And that matters. What they are doing on their show, even if it is in the form of light entertainment, matters. And I sincerely hope they know that, because I appreciate them with my whole heart for that. They're also just really funny, individually and together, and their momagers editing interjections are gold. Like, they're just so good, and they really make you feel like you're just sitting around hanging out with friends. So anyways, short version, Shay and Jill are lovely, and the way they create this safe space for dark romance girlies online is important and positive and wonderful. And that's my 2 cents. Sorry, I got a little passionate there. I just love them, and I love what they're doing. They're fantastic.
They're the best.
They're the best. We really are fans over here.
We are. I started listening to them because Hannah just kept mentioning them over and over and over again, and I'm just easily persuadable. And
you're impressionable.
I am. I'm impressionable. My psychologist asked me that during my assessment, and I just went, yeah. I don't want to talk about it, though.
Listen, in this context, it's really working for you.
Yeah. And then I just binged them all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so easily bingeable.
Yeah. So, it was a good time. Recommend.
Yeah, they're great. Highly recommend. Go listen to them. Finish listening to us, then go listen to them. Yeah.
Up next, we have Lindsay at books.with.bagel.
I love Lindsay.
She's so cute.
She's so
I love
sweet.
Lindsay. Yeah. I love her energy. When I messaged her about doing this episode, she messaged within like an hour, I think, just going, I'm listening to episode 1. This is so cool. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. This is so exciting. And I was just like, oh my God, I feel so cool right now.
Lindsay likes our show.
Oh my God. Like, I have been following Books with Bagel since I started my Booksta. And so just like her, like having a little fan moment in our DMs was just the cutest little moment. And
made my whole day.
I nearly cried. I was at a sex convention when I read that message.
Lindsay had you crying at the sex convention.
Yeah. So it was still the best part of my day. Thanks, Lindsay.
Oh my God. I started following Lindsay because like she's one of your Bookish creators that you wanted to feature, and so like but then I was seeing her messages, and so I was just like, ooh, let me just go like peep her.
You're like, who is this?
Yeah, and I love it so much. I've been following her ever since.
Yeah, she's just such a little cutie.
Yeah, she is.
And like some bookstagrams, even if I don't necessarily read the same books as them, like it's all about just the vibes and the sense of the community. And this is one of those for me. And like, there are a few books that we've read that are the same, or at least short stories. And I'm in it just to exist in the same space as her because she's just that fun. And I just love that she just radiates that loveliness. So, yeah.
Love that. Cute.
Yeah. We love a positive influence out there.
Yeah. The book community needs it sometimes. So Lindsay's really just saving lives, doing God's work.
For real. Not all heroes wear capes. Some of them read books.
Oh my gosh, yeah. My next shout out goes to Chelsea at Chelsea Reads, underscore with an underscore after. There's a very specific reason that I love Chelsea. She does this series on Reels where she acts like she's a librarian with people coming to her for book recommendations, but this character that she plays gets annoyed when they're not specific enough. So, for example, someone would be like, hey, I'm looking for a Grumpy Sunshine romance. And she's like, okay, what kind of Grumpy Sunshine are we talking? Grumpy Sunshine in a fantasy world, Grumpy Sunshine with animal companions. And she'll like list a bunch of like really specific niche versions of whatever it is people are asking for. And so on until she gives the most niche and outlandishly specific book recommendations that just scratch an itch in my mood reader brain. I can never put into words what specific mood I'm in for books or what specifically I'm looking for. And then Chelsea just comes in like, this book, this is what you need, actually. And I'm like, oh my God, you're so right, bestie. Thank you so much.
She just knows.
Yeah, and I just love that. I love that. It's always such a joy and sometimes a lifesaver. Okay, she has gotten me out of some really horrible reading slumps, like months long reading slumps just gone in the blink of an eye when Chelsea comes to the rescue. She's also just quite funny, and I like the librarian character she puts on because she's so relatable. Like I've met librarians like that.
Love
I think
that.
It's funny.
Yeah, honestly, bookstagrams that like compile like reading lists for like books for this vibe. Oh my God, those are my absolute favorites. I've got a saved folder in my Instagram just for reading lists. And so whenever I'm going through a slump, I'll go through the list until I find something that like stands out to me. And I'm like, oh, maybe that one. And oh my God, those bookstagrams just have a special place in my heart, period.
Yeah, like Chelsea's one of those for me. I don't even need a saved folder somewhere. Okay, I just go scrolling through Chelsea's Instagram looking for something weirdly specific because there's always something and it always happens when I need it. So it's great.
Oh, perfect. Up next, I have Tay at Diaries of Creativity.
Oh, I follow her too.
Yeah. Her Instagram feed it's like a personal blog, but you can just tell that books just matter to her in such a very deep, personal way, as I feel like they do for a lot of us. If you're listening to this, I imagine. Anyway, If not, I mean, you're still welcome to, but I've got a few more questions as to how you got here. But it speaks through her photos. Like, you can just feel that she's just this kind person, just like, and that's a hard thing to portray through photography, especially on a platform like Instagram where it's all played up to the 9th degree, right? And to still come through so authentically in her photography, her vlogs, her reels, all of it. And, like her book vlogs to her general vlogs from bookstores where she's traveled. I find it really fun to follow along with it. And yeah, she's just very pro community generally. Yeah. And it's just beautiful.
She's also gorgeous. Love that for her.
Yeah. Yeah. Her hair. Oh, love.
Beautiful.
Yeah. She might make me read Sally Rooney one day. We'll see. I haven't got there yet, but maybe if she keeps posting about it enough.
Well, we do know that if someone tells you enough times, you'll do it.
Exactly. So she's well on her way.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, she's great. I really like her content. She was like one of the first bookstagrammers I followed as well. Like when I started getting into the book community online, and she was just such a nice introduction to the book community at the time.
Cute.
Yeah. My next one is Jahid at Heedy the Scribe. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. If it's not Jahid, I'm so sorry. But I like his content a lot because I feel like he has a really brilliant balance between saying things that need to be said while also just having fun with books, being really funny, and enjoying the time spent with stories and with characters. That's important to me because I really appreciate the best of both worlds. I think that's really necessary in general. Like, he'll pop up on my feed and he'll just drop absolute bars about the importance of reading and education and stories, specifically in the context of the Black community, but also just in general. And then the next video, he's making jokes about like relatable reader content or how to get yourself a bookish baddie, or just making a really genuine book recommendation. And I just appreciate that. Love a man who can do both. His book recommendations are usually really diverse as well. And in general, his recommendations are just solid. Like, you know, he's thought it through, and you know he's telling you about the good shit. Also, he's doing a lot of really awesome things with respect to community building. Like, he's got his own community online. He's writing a book himself as well, which you know that I will be running to pick up whenever that comes out one day. And I believe he now also has a podcast, which I've yet to check out, but I've got it saved in my Spotify for later when I've got more time when school's done. So he's just doing all the things, and they're simply good. It's welcoming and peaceful, I guess I could say, but he does it without compromising the simple joy of reading and having a silly, goofy, fun time. And I think it's brilliant.
It is. Yay.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Next, I've got Maddie. That's Maddie with 2 T's at Reading with Maddie, who, if she were listening to this, I feel like would be Team Nymph 100%.
Yeah.
Because she has posted a good handful of books that would be mutual reads between us. Like, I'm talking, I know of at least 6.
Wow.
Which is like a decent bit for readers that have never spoken. I feel, anyway. And so I would be comfortable taking any recommendation from her. She's also another bookstagram where it's flat lays. Love it.
The aesthetics girlies really just draw you in.
Oh, they do. They really do. Like yeah.
Especially with horror. Like, what is with these like horror girlies who are just like...
Yeah, the horror aesthetics have been popping off lately. If it's either a horror aesthetic, a reading room aesthetic, or just something cozy, you got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So that's if anyone's trying to lure Jess in,
that's how you do it.
Do it.
Unlikely, but just in case, I'm lureable.
You are, and that's why you have me. I'm like, Jess, no. Come back.
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
It's a problem.
You're the whole problem, actually.
This fucking play about me.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's great. Well, the next one that I've got is Zach at Reader Zach. And Zach is kind of doing his own thing. Like, he's not, like, I can't think of another creator that's like him. Like, he's just sort of out here doing his own thing, reading his books. He reads a lot of YA, and I sometimes like YA as like a palate cleanser, and so I love going to his page for that because he's another one that's like super honest. Like, if the book sucks, he'll tell you. And he also is like the king of just like clocking like stuff in YA that like really shouldn't be in YA. and I don't know, I just appreciate that a lot. And also the book community, at least the side of it that I'm on, is fairly female dominated. And so I don't know, it's just cool to see Zach just out here doing his thing.
Yeah.
And
also a palate cleanser.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just like a little something different is sprinkled in there, and I just appreciate it a lot. He's also just quite funny and some of his videos about like relatable reader content, or just like bro has me in stitches sometimes. Like he's a good one. He's a good one for especially if you're looking for YA or like clean books. I shouldn't say clean books because that implies that books with spice are dirty. They're not, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, spiceless.
Yeah, spiceless books. I wouldn't say bland. Some of the books he reads are like I've taken a few like recommendations from him and read them, and they're really, really good. And so I just appreciate him for that.
Nice. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
My next one is Sue at Reader in Lab Coat.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I believe she's a neuroscience PhD student, and she has a bookstagram.
Oh, perfect. Pop off. Women in STEM.
Period. She is full on balls deep in the science. And I appreciate how real she is about that experience as well. And that it can be hard to keep up with, you know, the quote unquote expectations of bookstagram. And just reading her captions, like she'll be like, yeah, I haven't read all month. I've been studying. It's been hard. And she's just so, like, you can hear her voice in her writing, even though it's just, you know, a caption on a post. But she's very personable in that sense. And I find that really special. And especially in her book review posts, like, you can feel the excitement. And I think that's really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. That's cute. I don't know what it is. Like, there's something about people just like getting super amped about something they're passionate about and like getting so excited. It's just the cutest thing ever.
Yeah.
And it makes me love humans again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. My next one is Sarah at Sarah J. Peer 0123. And Sarah, I'm drawn to Sarah for similar reasons that I'm drawn to Shay and Jill. Like, she's very candid. She's very open about her reading, romance, smut reading. She also, similar to us, has done book swaps with one of her friends too, of like that sort of genre swap idea. And so like she would like make him read like a smutty romance and she'd have to read like something without smut. And so like that was just really cool. And she has like such big energy, just such a enthusiastic and energetic and just like punchy sort of personality that I'm very drawn to, and I find it really engaging. And so like she's another one where anytime I'm like scrolling by, if I see one of her videos, I stop immediately. And she is another one also, when she makes book recommendations, she'll just like hook you a little bit. She'll like tell you just enough and then you want to go and read it. And nice. And so I don't know, I like it a lot, and I appreciate her for that as well, of just like being this sort of safe space of just being like unapologetically herself. And she like does not give a single fuck about hate comments. She does not care. Like, she's just out here letting her freak flag fly. And I think that we need more of that in this world, especially for women. Do your thing, girl.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. We'll die on that hill.
Mm-hmm.
Next, I have Meg at Pages Meg Reads, who is my go-to contemporary girly. I believe she has a pinned post of both Cleopatra and Frankenstein and Blue Sisters by Coco Malors, both of which I myself greatly enjoyed, and I am just in love with the look of her feed.
Again,
because you guessed it. You guessed it. This one, it's got light tones. Like, it's all like whites and creams. It's beautiful. Chef's kiss. And I admire their commitment to it. Also, specifically, I might add, just because I've tried to do stuff like that before. It's hard. It is hard, especially with something like books where the covers are not all monochromatic. you know?
Yeah, I always
It's
wonder about
hard.
that. Because, like, I guess it's easy with, like, if you have a Kindle, like, one of the
Yeah.
older
Black
ones.
and white covers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
With
physical
books,
book?
what you gonna
Oh
do?
my God. I'm like, how do you manage this? I'm like, but then you scroll through their feed and like wizardry. You're just a witch. Pop off. Love that.
It's a talent, truly.
Yeah, and she's got it. So good job, Meg.
Nice. Go Meg. All right, my next one is Ankita at Ankita Reads, and that's with 3 A's at the end of Ankita.
So it's Ankita!
Yeah.
Reads.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. That's her. And she...
Sorry.
She... Don't apologize. That was fantastic. She caught my attention originally because she has a very, like, dry, deadpan sense of humor. And she's quite witty. And her sense of humor is what drew me in. And then I stayed for the book recommendations, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Because she is also just really relatable and quite funny. And I started following her for romance recommendations. And then it just like branched out from there. It just snowballed. Okay. I was like, oh, she's kind of funny. And then I was like, oh, romance book recommendations. Oh my God, wait, relatable reader content. And it just like kept going. Like she's just like it was just, if you were to take like everything I love in the bookish community and just like put it into one feed, it's Ankita Reads.
Oh my God. That's so fun.
She's fantastic. Yeah, she is a lot of fun. And also I just like her voice. Like I just like listening to her talk because she's very sort of calm and like deadpan in the way that she delivers things, and so like I just like listening to what she has to say.
Nice. My next book stud is Neek. Pronunciation ? Maybe sorry.
We're doing our best.
Yeah. At Chronicled, CHRONIQLED, which I believe is a literary play on words off of her name, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Period.
I like that a lot. That's cool.
Yeah, isn't it? It took me a while to figure that out, to be honest. But once I did, I just kind of like took a step back and I was like, whoa.
Oh shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
And yet another flat lay queen.
Cal Surprise.
Yeah. And I believe it was the color-coded tabs that originally caught my eye. And I remember it was also very shortly after I created my bookstagram. And I was just like looking for tags to follow at the time, and you know, annotations being one of them. I believe her post popped up under there. And yeah, I've just been admiring her annotations ever since.
Yeah, I feel like annotation isn't that common on Bookstagram.
Not as much. I feel like I've worked myself into such a niche in my algorithm that it's common for me specifically. But overall, I feel like it's not as like prominent.
Yeah, I don't see it a lot, but I ended up on the side of Bookstagram where like you keep your books in pristine condition, and book collecting and book reading are separate hobbies.
I am the opposite.
And so people like that don't tend to like to write in their books, and no. I probably wouldn't either if it hadn't been for school.
I mean, in my defense, I would never do that to any of my vintage or, you know, my classics, my cloth bound. Actually, well, I have done it to the cloth bounds. They're new. I don't care. But never a vintage.
No.
And no. And like special editions with sprayed edges, no.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a heathen.
You dog ear. Okay? You can't say I'm not a heathen and dog ear.
Whoa.
hate that you talk here. It's like your one fatal flaw aside from the sheer number of puns you make. I love you so much. I'm kidding. I do think you're a bookish heathen, though.
I can live with that.
Okay. That's great. My next one is Salma at Salma's Library with an underscore. And Salma is another one who's an exclusively a romance reader. And she does a really good job of making recommendations by just like hooking just a little bit. And she gets so excited. Like, she's got such a bubbly personality, and she's like, as she's talking about these books, she's like giggling and kicking her feet and like dancing around a little bit and getting so excited about what she's reading. And she, like, it's just infectious. Like, her energy is just infectious. So, like, when she's going on like that about a book, I'm like, oh, I want to pick it up too. And then I do, and then it's awesome. And then I have that experience too. Like, I'm like giggling and kicking my feet and having a great time. Cute. And I just really like love and appreciate that. Like, she's another one where she's just like a ray of sunshine and such positive vibes. And she's also really into F1, which I like as well, because my dad, he's really, really into F1. And so I like her content on that as well. Like, I don't know what it is about like bookish girlies who also watch F1, but that's become a thing lately.
Very specific.
Yeah. And Salma's one of those. And so I'm like, great, get you a girl who can do both. Like, she's fantastic. Yeah. And I and her little giggle is so cute. Like, I just love her. She's fantastic. I like her videos. And she's got quite the book collection that I just think is really beautiful.
Yay for collections.
Yeah, real.
Yeah. I have another book club, Booksta, at Bored to Death Book Club. And this one is run by, I believe her name is pronounced Esme.
Mm-hmm.
Again, apologies if that's wrong. I am so sorry.
Yeah, we really need people to say their names out loud.
Yeah. I usually try to get people to say their name before I try.
That's genius.
Just out of anxiety. But that wasn't an option for this. So, sorry if so, but she runs a book club in Rotterdam. And while I've not yet had the pleasure of following along with a read, Esme is so on top of like the bookish spin for whatever trend is floating around, and she's just so entertaining, as well as she's got some solid spooky recs. Like,
damn.
Yeah, like I have got at least 2 either being currently read or in my Kindle library waiting to be read. She was another one that I saw the Eyes of the Best Part popping up on a lot. And so I very well might follow along with one of the book club reads one of these times. Because, yeah, from what I've seen just following on Instagram, baller taste.
Nice. Well, my next one is Jason at Easy Cat. And what draws me to Jason is just his sheer amount of very clear and obvious passion for books. Like, he's one of those ones where, like, you know, when people say there's a difference between book buying and book collecting and book reading, they're all separate hobbies.
Oh,
Jason does all three, and he's so passionate and excited about it the whole time, and it's contagious. And he's just got such a beautiful collection of books, and like these gorgeous shelves, and everything's like decorated so beautifully. And it just, like, when I see one of his videos come up and I just see this like cozy backdrop of all these like really beautiful books, like, it just warms my heart, and it just makes me feel better on a bad day. And he's always so positive and so enthusiastic, and just like so excited to be here and to spread the love of books and the love of stories. And I really appreciate when people are just so genuinely like that, and that comes across because yes, that's how I feel. And so then it's like I sort of like really resonate with that. And so I really love his content for that. He's also into board games. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm a huge board game nerd. I have a giant collection of board games. I've been playing board games since I could speak. And so I like that content as well. So like I appreciate also the Bookish creators who like kind of have like another side thing and like how the hobbies all come together.
Multi-hobbyists.
Exactly, yeah. And so Jason's like that. And so I just feel like there's a lot in common there for me. So I just like the content a lot.
Nice. I have Julie next at Julie Slesezite. Slesezeit.
That was so fucked up because you have a lisp.
Shut the fuck up. I just felt like Ellen trying to say Saskatchewan.
Real.
Yeah. But Julie, she is the sweetest little Dutch bookstagrammer. I think she's Dutch. She speaks Dutch. Can someone be Dutch and speak Dutch?
Girl, you're asking the wrong person. I have no idea. I love how you look at me like you would just expect me to know everything.
I don't know, you're smart.
Bitch, do I look like Google to you? Yeah, plot twist, Google is just like a 23-year-old blonde woman in some flannel pajama pants on a random Tuesday night.
I love personification.
Anyways, Julie.
So back to Julie. Yeah. So she posts a lot of like book reviews, and I call them discussion reels. Like, you know, the reels that are just like, oh, like name a book like this, or like what's something like this that you like about books or whatever. There's so many different examples. Those are the worst ones I could think of. And so she posts a lot of those, which I really enjoy for the like community building aspect. I found a lot of good bookstagrams just scrolling through those comment sections. So I find those really sweet, and they're always just full of such positive energy and people. And yeah, she facilitates that and is just in turn just the positive energy person. And also, she hand draws the letters onto all of her posts, and it is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
it is so cool. It is so cool. And she's so good at it.
Ugh, love Julie.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yay, Julie.
I love the community building. Like, that's almost like a networking thing, like with those posts like that.
It's so cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, she does such a good job of it.
Cool. That's great. My next shout out goes to Kiara at Kiara_Lewis1. And Kiara is another like bookish personality hire for me. Like she is so expressive and animated in everything that she does and says online about books. And she reads like such a wide range of books, of popular books, of random niche romance. Like she's just reading whatever she wants. And she'll literally like she'll record herself sobbing over a book. She'll record herself screaming in her kitchen.
Real.
She'll record herself throwing books across the room. Like she's like fully like reading is a full body experience for her. And
Real.
Yeah, it's just so real and so cool. And like she's really positive, but also she shows like the full range of emotions that stories can bring on. And like literally like her page is a testament to the power of storytelling and the way that like you can have these relationships with these characters and you fall in love with these worlds. And she sort of is the only one that I see that still is completely just like like, you know, when you're a kid and you like read something or watch a movie or something like that, and like it just like it affects you in the body, like you want to like you go see a spy movie and suddenly you think you're 007, like she still brings that sort of wonder into reading, and it's so positive and so wonderful to see. And I also just always appreciate someone just being super genuine, and she's genuine. Like, she shows you every step of the way, even stuff that like wouldn't normally otherwise make it onto Instagram. Like, when I say sobbing, I'm not kidding. And I just love and appreciate her so much for that. And then it just like inspires me then in my reading to think about it like that, and to like let it affect me and like really experience what I'm reading as I'm visualizing it and falling in love with these characters. And so I find it really motivating and really engaging to see.
Fun. So my next few are all the Instagrams for bookshops.
Mm-hmm.
So just to preface that. So next is at Pages Books, which is Pages Books in Kensington, Calgary. And they're my absolute favorite bookshop. Oh my God, I love them to bits. I brought you there when you were here last.
I know. I loved it.
Oh, yeah. They have 3 levels, first of all. The basement is all used, and it is my favorite place for hunting for my hyper niche books. That's where I go. I go and I just pick up covers that look cool until I read a back that is just too intriguing to put down, and then I've got 4 in my arms. And they're all $5 to $8, and so I'm going home with all of them.
Yeah, as you should. Yeah. No one can get mad at you for buying a book.
Exactly. Especially if it's $1.
Yep. It's like a reward.
It's like a reward. So, yeah, Pages Books. I go there every chance I get. And
I'd move in if they'd let me.
Honestly, they just got a cat.
Oh my God. I have to go there.
Oh, he is a gentleman. His name is Kilgore Trout, and everybody loves him. He has no tail.
Oh my God. I love him. I would die for him.
Yeah. Every time I see him, he's just lounging on a box of books, and that is just the life.
Real. Me. Yeah. Me as a cat. Mm-hmm. That's how I would like to come back in the next life, honestly.
Same. Bookstore cat.
A bookstore cat. That's fantastic. My next one is Sivan at Sivan Reads. I think it's Sivan. That's another one where I'm not sure. I'm so sorry. Please, Sivan, if you're hearing this and I'm wrong, please message me, correct me. I would love to know. I love Sivan's page because she is very, very approachable in like a really easygoing, friendly way. And it's another safe space because I don't even know if she does it on purpose or if she even realizes that this is the effect that it has, but she's always very like open and honest about the fact that she's always confused. Like,
oh, mood. Same.
Like her, when I first started seeing her videos, it would be like the annotations of someone who's perpetually confused. And she would share her annotations, and it just kind of reminded me of how, like, even, like, when I'm in school and I'm around all these, like, super hoity-toity, like, pretentious people who think they're all that because they study English literature, all of my annotations would be the most random, unintelligible, like, just slang, one-liners, all kinds of stuff in the margins, and questions, and things like that. And I remember, like, when I was in school, at that time, I remember feeling like really like out of place, and like there was something wrong with me because I didn't have these like highfalutin profound things to say. And then I just started coming across Sivan, and she's just like having a good time, and she's like, no, yeah, I'm always confused, I never know what's going on inside these books, but I'm having a great time, and let me tell you about it.
Yeah
and I
yeah
so like it just makes me feel like safe and okay about like just enjoying books the way that I want to enjoy them, and like I don't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be these like profound, I don't have to have all these profound ideas to be a good reader.
You don't need big thoughts to have big brain.
Yes, exactly. And she's just very like, she's another one that's got like kind of a dry sense of humor, and so I just love her videos, and she's just so kind and lovely. Like when we messaged her about this episode as well, she was just so lovely, and she was like, send me the link once it's out. I'm like, oh yes, I would love to. She's the best. So yeah, it's very approachable, very judgment free, she's just like, come along with me, like you don't have to be super good at it, I'm not either, we're just having a good time, we're reading. Like,
I love that to bits.
Yeah, I love her to bits. It's great. So that's Sivan Reads.
Yay. Next, I have The Next Page YYC, which is the next page in Inglewood, Calgary. And I'll be honest, it's a very, very similar store to Page's books, to the point where I do not know if they are affiliated with one another. And at this point, I'm too afraid to ask.
It's been too long. It's kind of awkward now.
Yeah, it is. So if any of the employees from either stores happen to listen to this, someone tell us, because I'm dying to know, but I'm never going to ask.
And that's the beauty of podcasting.
Yeah. Period. Yeah. Yeah. So pretty please and thank you. But anyway, The Next Page. They also have a used book basement, which also has a like movie screening.
Oh, that's cool.
Thing down there. It's really cool, and it's like old fashioned in the sense, I think it's like a projector, and they have like individual chairs set up and like a couple of couches. So that's really neat. And cool. They also sell coffee.
Coffee and books just go.
Period.
And I only just recently became a coffee drinker in the last few months.
Yeah. You recently started that affair.
Yeah. And now I'm hooked. So
yeah. Now she's hooked.
Yeah. I'm locked in. The caffeine addiction is real.
They're also dog friendly. So is Pages. So is the next one.
Oh my god.
Which is awesome.
Dogs and coffee and books.
Dogs and coffee and books.
Oh my god, we don't have places like that where I live, because I live in like...
That sucks.
Like a big city type big city. Like...
My big city has quadrants and none of them talk to each other.
Yeah, no, we don't really have indie bookstores like in my city. Like I have to go to the next city over for my favorite one. Yeah. Ugh, I'm jealous. I gotta go to Calgary.
We'll find some in a couple of weeks.
Yep. All right. My next one is Kevin at Kevin T. Norman. And I admire Kevin for, again, just the sheer enthusiasm for books and for just how like inviting and relatable his content is. And he posts a lot of videos about like giving you permission to buy a book, and like he'll just show up and be like, you know what, go buy that book. Actually, though, go buy the book. And I'm like, Kevin, you're so right. Thank you so much. It's
giving the same vibes as no one can stop you.
No one. Who's going to get mad?
Who's going to get mad?
Exactly.
No one can get mad.
Exactly.
When it's $1.
Exactly. Kevin embodies that energy and is just so enthusiastic and so positive, and he calls things like it is. And he's got such a beautiful, beautiful collection of special editions with sprayed edges. He's got a whole shelf.
Oh my
goodness. And he has the library of my dreams. And like, I want to be Kevin when I grow up. I just want that library so bad. And I really like the relatable book content. Like, nice. I don't find myself necessarily going for like specific book recommendations or anything specific like that. I just think that the videos about reading and about the love of reading are just such a joy for me, and I relate to them, and so it just brings this sort of sense of camaraderie into the space that I think is really, really valuable, and he does such a good job of it. And so yeah, love Kevin for that.
Nice. Yay, Kevin.
Yay, Kevin.
Next, I've got at Shelf Life Books, which is Shelf Life Books in downtown Calgary, also dog friendly. And these guys are my go-to inner city. So, like, if I am downtown, this is the bookshop I'm going to if I'm able to go anywhere. This is the shop where I fell in love with cloth-bound classics, and I have fallen headfirst into that hole, so they had an impact. There was nothing really that would have triggered it to happen at that shop specifically, but it just happens to be where I bought my first one, and ever since then, I've just always happened to buy them there. And so,
I mean,
yeah.
We're all about supporting local bookstores.
Don't fix what's not broke.
Yeah.
And yeah, they also, their sticker selection is always top tier.
Oh, I love a sticker.
Oh my God. They're so good. So
that's great.
Yeah. Shelf Life Books. Check it out. There's also a great coffee shop right next door called I Love You Coffee Shop, which is super cute. Yeah. So recommend that place too.
Awesome. Two for one on that one.
Yeah, that one's a twofer.
Nice. My next shout out goes to Ozaimin. I think that's how you pronounce it. Again, I'm so sorry if it's not. Please tell me. And his is Ozaimin Yusuf. And he is a fantasy reader, but he reads a very specific type of fantasy that I really, really appreciate. And that I sometimes just need, like, whenever I'm looking for like that sort of like high fantasy, like D&D type vibes, I usually go for his page for recommendations, because he also doesn't just continually recommend popular books over and over and over again. Like, I see a lot of videos of people just being like, oh yeah, like all these books you've probably never heard of, and they're like popular books,
all books that we've heard of.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, guys,
yeah,
can we talk about
no, they better be basement finds before I've never heard of them.
Yeah. Yeah, and so he has put me onto a few books before that like I genuinely hadn't heard of anywhere else. And so I really, really appreciate his content for that. Also, he just has a very like sardonic kind of sense of humor. And so he posts these bookish rants sometimes. Like there was one video he had done about like the downfall of publishing lately, of just like being these like recycled stories like over and over again, of just like pumping out whatever's popular and things like that without any actual like original ideas. And what stuck out to me in that video was when he's going on about like publishing, and then all of a sudden he goes, what's next? They're just gonna start publishing stacks of blank pages and calling it minimalist fiction. I'm like, oh, you're so real for that. And so,
yeah.
And so I just think that's like so funny and so just refreshing, because he's saying the shit that I'm always thinking, but like I'm too scared to say. And so
that's fantastic.
Yeah, it like resonates with me for that. Just his commentary and like the way that he like sort of like flows in these videos when he's talking about stuff like this. He's making a lot of jokes and it's quite funny, but then also like actually facts. And and so I just appreciate him and his content a ton for that. And just the sheer wit on this man is just great. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I have next is at Found Bookshop, which is not in Calgary. It is a bookshop in Cochrane, Alberta. And it's not one that I have had the pleasure of visiting yet. However, it is on my list. I just have not happened to be in Cochrane since I heard of it. But I have been following their Instagram for a while, and they do a lot of events with workshops, authors, I believe, and just seem to be really involved with the bookish community in the small town, which that alone, love it. Like, we love indie bookstores in small towns. Come on.
Those are magical places. Yeah.
It is. So I'm really excited to visit one day.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. My next shout out is for S at Book It with S. And she is another one similar to Novel Naya where she just tells you like it is. And she says the things that need to be said. And you can't even argue with her. Like, she shows up and just, like, in the most, like, calm, respectful, matter-of-fact way, she just drops straight-up facts.
Hell yeah.
Whether it be, like, on a book recommendation or something about the bookish community or something about publishing or something like that, she just pops up. She just calls it exactly as it is. You can't even argue with her. Mic drop. She's done. Like, and she's really funny, and I just really enjoy that a lot. I'm sensing a theme here. I seem to like that sort of witty, kind of punchy, like way.
Dry humor.
yeah. Because like I'm like that, and so when I see that, it just sort of resonates with me, and it makes me feel not connected in like a parasocial way, but like, you know, like calls to like. And so, yeah. And
you're like Tarzan.
Yeah. And she, again, is super honest and upfront. And so I trust her recommendations because I know that if the book sucks, S will tell me.
Fair.
And she is just also so relatable and so real. And so I appreciate that because we need that. We need that, people, on social media. Like, she is sort of like the queen of like de-influencing Bookstagram for me. Like, she's really just out here showing it exactly as it is. She's obviously a passionate reader. And another thing that I really appreciate about her is like with the way that she talks about books is like, it's so obvious when she talks about books that she's very like critically thinking about it. Like, she's obviously put a lot of thought into the books and her enjoyment of them and what she liked about them and things like that. So like I appreciate the readers who go by vibes. That's me. I'm purely vibes. But the fact that she like is so like introspective about it, and she obviously like knows what she likes and can explain it and can tell you why specifically she liked or didn't like a book.
That's hot.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say it like that, but you're correct. Yeah, it's just great. Like, love a woman who knows what she wants, and she is just so clear about it, and I appreciate that.
Yay. That's so cool. Love that. My last, but certainly not least one, is at Linden Acres Design. And I don't believe I could find the name of the artist that runs this Instagram page, but that's the handle. And I had to include them because they make the most gosh darn gorgeous embroidery I have ever laid my eyes upon in hardcover books. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Nice.
And yeah, embroidered hardcovers. Like, she's done Winnie the Pooh. She's done like Frankenstein by Mary Shelley.
I love Winnie the Pooh.
Like, she's done like garden books with like plants across the front.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And yeah, like every piece that I see by this person, just my jaw drops. I am in awe. And someday I know I'm going to do a much worse job than she does and embroider a book cover. But like, it is amazing. Amazing artwork.
So, does she just do that like on the dust jacket?
No, like through the cover, I think. Like it's not the dust jacket. It's like legit on the
Wow.
hardcover.
So like she does the designs and everything herself too. Like she doesn't just Oh, that's so cool.
It's amazing.
Man,
it's
some
amazing.
people are so talented.
Yeah, they're one of them.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Uh-huh.
That's beautiful. Awesome.
So,
do they do like commissions and stuff?
I don't think they do commissions. I think they just like it takes them a long time to do them.
Yeah, fair.
Which understandably, embroidery is a long hobby to start with. Like I cross stitch, it takes hours, and embroidery is even more so. So the fact that she's doing it on books is admirable. So from what I understand, I don't quote me on this, but I believe that, you know, she just like does the books that she picks and then will like list them as available on her website. But I could be wrong about that, to be clear. For liability's sake.
For legal reasons.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm right, but I think.
We are pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'll have to check them out. I've never
highly
heard of
recommend.
them.
Yeah.
Makes sense that you would have an artist on here though.
I had to. It like their work I can't even like my words are not doing it justice. Like if people take anything from listening to this entire episode so far, I hope that they look up Lyndon Akers' design just because it's honestly astounding work.
Wow. Ringing endorsement. Damn.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I couldn't narrow down my list anymore, and so I have 3 more for you.
Hit me with them.
Yeah, I couldn't avoid it. It was happening. Sorry. So, the one of my last 3 is Gavin at Legavendary. So like legendary, but Gavin in the middle. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
And Gavin is a man who reads fantasy romance.
Hell yeah.
Very refreshing.
He's a guy who knows.
Yeah, exactly. Already right off the bat.
Green flag.
And so it was just so refreshing. And he's another one who just gets like so excited about the books and the characters. He seems to me to be someone who's really particularly interested in characters and character relationships, which same. And so I would see his videos about that. Like he did like a whole series about Throne of Glass and all the different characters in Throne of Glass, and he posts like reading updates as he goes. And so as someone who like had already read it all, to like watch someone else like go through that whole series and like be so excited about it, but also kind of offer like a different perspective was really, really cool. And his excitement about fantasy romance is contagious. And he's really just a man in a female dominated field. And
love that. He's so brave.
Yeah. He's so brave. And on top of that, like that's what caught my attention in the first place is it was just like a different take on a lot of the popular books that I've been seeing for such a long time. And then he also he's very active on YouTube and on like he does Twitch streams as well. Like he's into gaming, and he has a Discord server, which is he's another one that's really into like the community building and really connecting with his audience, which I really appreciate. And to the point where like on the Discord server, like they do like watch parties of like,
oh dang,
like they'll choose a movie and then like on a Sunday at 1 p.m. everyone sits down in the Discord server and watches this movie together, and like, or they'll do like book clubs and like reading together. And there's lots of like channels on the server of people just like chatting about different topics and different things. And so like it's just like he's facilitating this really awesome, like very connected, very engaged community with like multiple hobbies and lots of people just coming together. And he himself is also just quite charismatic and just like entertaining to watch. And so I think that that's what draws people in. And then like he's got this really awesome community that that pulls it all together, and his live streams are quite entertaining. And so I just really appreciate what he's doing. I think that kind of community building and that kind of engagement is really important. And another thing I noticed about him too is when he's on live stream and stuff like that, and this is like such a random specific thing, but I'm going to mention it. He uses people's names. Like when he's like saying hi to people, or like when people comment and stuff like that, he always uses people's names. And that stuck out to me because when I was a kid, one of the like main lessons that stuck with me from my dad was you should always use people's names because names matter. It's an acknowledgement of their personhood, and it's an acknowledgement of their existence and them specifically. And it makes people feel important and like they matter. And that's something that matters. Mm-hmm. And so I felt like that was just a good indicator of the way that he's very engaged with his audience and with the other people in the book community. And it also just like puts himself on the same level as everyone else. And so he's just there to facilitate it. And yeah, I don't know. I just find that really admirable and really cool. And he does it in a way that that's not very common, that you don't really see around.
It's like
that
very
much.
Personal and respectful, which is not something you see on the internet very much.
Exactly. So love Gavin for that.
Nice.
Yeah. And then my next one is Zai at Zai Rambles. And Zai is another one where I just really appreciate her content for what she's doing in the community. What drew me to her in the first place, like how I came across her, was right around the time when she had launched her 75 Hard Black Book Challenge, specifically to do with African mythology. And so it's just sort of like another side of book recommendation. And she's very positive and inviting and welcoming about it in a way that at least at the time for me, I really appreciated as being so accessible, because I had been like actively trying to diversify my reading, because I think I've talked about this before, but like I always want to read and learn about things that are not like me, or different perspectives that aren't like my own, because that helps me be able to like understand and empathize and things like that, because that's important to me. And so I just like started following her for that, and like reading some of the books that she was recommending. And there's some of my favorite books that I've read after like going on this whole quest to find diversified book recommendations. And she talks a lot about like how much, not even talking directly about it, but just showing through her content how important representation is. And that importance of representation applies to all different types of people. And so she's sort of just created this little pocket of the internet where like there's all this like really beautiful representation, and she shares like her joy in seeing like representation that she identifies with. And like it's sort of like how I've talked before about how I feel reading like Amy Alward's books of like with like plus size representation. Like I imagine it's kind of like that, and she sort of just like brings in that joy and shares that joy. And she's so like bubbly and positive and kind. Like she's obviously a very kind person, and it really comes through. And so I really appreciate her content for facilitating that. Not just for me, like you go into her comment section, and like that's just what she does. Aww. And it's just such a beautiful thing to see. And I appreciate the way that she's so like open about it as well, and very inviting, and she does it in an approachable way, which I like a lot, because representation does matter. And I think that everyone needs to diversify their reading, because you got to support all the stories, all the voices. We need them all.
Promote empathy, read more books.
Yeah, exactly. And she does a lot of good. She does a lot of good for that.
Period.
So, that's Zai. And then, last and certainly not least, taking a full 180 from Zai, this is Fish at the sequel nobody wanted. And Fish is something. Fish, they how do I explain fish? You don't, actually. I think that's the point. Fish, what I originally loved about Fish was, one, the videos where they would read the most like unhinged smut books they could find. Like Stuffed by the Were Turkey, Unhinged about
Classic.
that woman and her apartment door, Taken by the Pumpkin Spice Latte, Squeak, like there's another one called Forked about a sentient fork. And
it's been on the radar lately, apparently.
yeah. They actually talked about that one enough that the author actually sent them,
oh my god,
like a copy of the book with an engraved fork.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And
that's my goal.
Yeah, so they're another one that kind of normalize like the unhinged reading, the fan fiction readers, the Wattpad readers, the AO3, the like those kind of vibes, and like making, like, they did a whole series about Twilight, which was just hilarious. And so there's that side of it, and then there's also like they did a couple of videos about like their annotations on like a bunch of like old tragic plays that they were reading for, I guess, school. Or maybe they just did that randomly. I don't know. That seems like something they would do. But they make a lot of content about like academia, and I believe they're in school for some kind of theater or something like that. Like they I say this with so much love. Fish is giving a theater kid in the best way. And it's just so fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun and so engaging, and their content sometimes is like just so unhinged. They did a series of videos about haunting Adeline as well.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And so like Fish is just having a good time, and sometimes not having a good time, and either way
it's a time.
Either way, it's
a time was had.
It's an experience. Like watching Fish's Instagram stories is like a whole experience.
No kidding.
Yeah. So they are another one where they just like bring something different to the table, to the bookish community, and I am living for it. So
love that.
I figured I'd end off on a bang with
Yay
Fish. Yay Fish.
Yay Fish.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so fun. Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
Yeah, highly recommend. They also do like long form YouTube videos. Like it's not just on Instagram anymore. They do YouTube as well. And so I'm just like loving getting the extra content from Fish, because it brings me so much joy. Like the power of light entertainment. Like it's just it's awesome. So
nice.
That's my last one.
Yay. Well, this was our first holiday season episode.
Yep, it's a long one. Bear with us. I hope you've made it this far. If you haven't, though, I won't be offended.
Yeah, we didn't want to cut. We didn't want to.
No, we're here to spread
it's the holidays.
The holiday cheer. We're here to share the love in the bookish community and just
it's about
start
togetherness.
Off. Yes.
Can't do that without everybody.
Exactly.
Here we are.
Yeah. 2 hours in.
Yeah. As they say, Merry Christmas, holy shit.
Yeah. It's a long one, and it's a little different than what we usually do, but I felt like it was important to spread the love, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, we hope you may have found some new bookstas to go follow, some new book besties, if you will. And you're also always welcome to become book besties with us. We love book besties.
100%. Email me.
Yeah. That's a threat, but yeah.
Email me.
Oh, you can message us anytime on Instagram or Threads at Badly Annotated Pod, or you can email Hannah at badlyannotedpod@gmail.com. I will still read it. That's a threat. And all of our links are available through the link in our Instagram bio. And with that, best wishes, happy snow season, kindest regards.
Sincerely, Jess and Hannah.